the market research industry is in many ways ahead of many others in the adoption of AI. And this is based on a survey that Asia Research did at the end of last year. It was just over 100 stakeholders took part to look at really where the industry is in AI adoption, what they see as the advantages and disadvantages, both to the company and to the individual user. And importantly, what is the future of the market research agency with AI, with the broad adoption of AI? And so first of all, how is AI being managed within market research? Well, it wasn't just limited to market research agencies, but some clients as well. How is it being managed within research departments in general? So first of all, I mean, if we look at the figure at the bottom, only 4% said there was no discussion around AI at all. Now, I wouldn't say that's an accurate figure, because if you're doing a survey about AI, you may not start the survey if you're not involved in AI at all. But I think we can generally say that the market research industry is far more active than most others. And in fact, the survey in the US last year showed that only 5% of US firms across all industries use AI in their products and services, although about a third of staff are using it informally, particularly in areas like HR. So within the industry, it's really more on a sort of informal use. So some have set up dedicated departments and teams, or have a person heading AI development, but quite a lot of it is just fairly informal, with various staff providing inputs on AI usage. And also 32% are using AI as they wish, which is maybe a bit troublesome or a bit concerning, because it's not really being overseen by the management of the organization, and individual researchers are just using AI whatever suits them. But how is AI being assessed and developed within the company? Internal research and brainstorming sessions, attending seminars like this, of course, and speaking to AI vendors. But only 44% said they are consulting their brands and clients about AI, which kind of means that many of the clients are looking to their vendors to advise them on how best to use AI, rather than the other way around. Now, the current applications of AI within the consumer insight industry looks like this. So the inset bars are the current use of AI, and the outset bars are the future demand. And the difference, the growth in the table, is showing where the highest growth areas are expected. So current use, the primary applications include desk research, scanning of findings across markets, brainstorming using AI to generate ideas, automated transcription of focus groups and interviews, and automated insights. Within the secondary applications, we do see some high growth areas, particularly around AI-powered quality checks for surveys. So only 22% currently using that. That is expected to grow to 68%. Sentiment analysis and real-time market monitoring is also expected to see significant growth. And then in the tertiary applications, very little use currently of analytical applications using historical data to forecast, or competitive intelligence tracking competitors' activities. But both of those areas are seeing more than 40% growth over the next few years. One area that people are talking about a fair bit is the use of synthetic data, so artificial data that mimics real data, which allows research companies to effectively do surveys without respondents. Also very useful for synthetic boosts, where they need to look at niche audiences or hard-to-reach audiences. So about half of companies are using it, although most of those are just starting out. What's notable, though, is there's quite a big difference between research companies in the West versus in Asia. So 73% of companies in the West are using synthetic data, only 33% in Asia. And that might be reflective of either the availability of data or the acceptance of synthetic data. Some say that synthetic data could make up 50% of research data by 2030, but there's quite a lot to overcome in terms of acceptability within client organizations, particularly with internal clients. In fact, one client I interviewed said that they had spent 10 years to get internal clients to believe in panel data, and then the next step is to get them to believe in synthetic data. But what it could also mean is with synthetic data that real human survey data might become a premium source in the future for which clients will be willing to pay a premium for. What we asked is also whether companies are working on proprietary AI solutions, either in-house or with an external vendor. So 54% claim they are already working on those solutions. 27% said they expect to work on those solutions in the future. So these, the AI that the Market Research Agency are taking this very seriously. They are investing in their own proprietary solution. But in terms of what they're using in the marketplace, the current use of branded solutions with AI, which is the inset bars is what they're currently using versus future use. And you'll see how dominant ChatGPT is with about 90%, almost 90% currently using that for their research. Display R, Qualtrics, Coloop, Perplexity, Anthropic, Claude, Indemo, all over 10%. But what's notable is the sheer number of vendors here. Out of over 100 respondents, there's about 44 different branded AI solutions. The perceived benefits of AI. So we asked from a list of 12, what do you see as the top 5 benefits of AI? And we split this into primary, secondary, and tertiary benefits. So the primary benefits to the researcher include greater efficiency and speed, such as faster ideation, analysis, and reporting, reduced costs, greater efficiency, including use of synthetic data, and obtaining more value from existing research. The secondary benefits include improving quality, so better quality control of surveys, integrating AI within QC of surveys, identifying bad responders, for example, as well as making surveys more engaging and interesting. But there are a range of other secondary benefits, including improving the quality of research via creative inputs from AI, as well as reducing human researcher bias, enhancing consumer profiling and predictive analysis, and analysis of niche audiences that are hard to reach, including the synthetic boost application. And then the tertiary benefits, which only a minority of vendors see, is the ability of the vendor to extend the services into other areas like creative developments, and Neil has already doubled in that himself, but less so in terms of the HR impact. So AI reducing headcount, or that the agency doesn't need to have so many staff, or to attract new talent to the research industry. And then the benefits to the individual AI, the benefits of AI to the individual researcher are similar in terms of making them more efficient, helping them to ideate, improve writing skills, enhance the debrief or advisory services to clients, deeper analysis, better presentation. But the HR applications, like easier to train staff, AI tools to help me train staff I manage, or less staff management, are pretty small. So it's more on the research side rather than the HR side. But the downsides, the perceived drawbacks of AI to the organization are very interesting. And these kind of identify the pitfalls that Neil had identified, but specific to the market research industry. The decline in critical thinking and creativity. Effectively, you're outsourcing your analysis to machines, and those outputs could become rather standardized if we're all using the same programs. AI hallucinations, including grammatic or logic incorrect responses, risk and ethical considerations in terms of lack of transparency and accountability to the use of AI in consumer insight. The secondary drawbacks include poor long-term strategic thinking, lack of foresight, and related to that is juniors not being trained on the principles of market research, just shortcutting via the use of AI. Other areas quite broad. Clients might become unrealistic in their expectations of AI. So they might say to their agency, "Oh, you're using AI, so this is what we want, and by next week." And also some of the inherent biases where, say, data is generated a lot in the West is it's culturally insensitive, doesn't account for cultural language differences across regions, and only serves to perpetuate existing biases present in historical data. And the tertiary drawbacks are not to be ignored, potential job losses, disreputable vendors selling poor AI solutions, AI expected to drive down fees charged by research agencies, and last but not least is the environmental impact of AI. Now, AI creates huge amounts of energy for every iteration on ChatGPT, requires a lot of energy in the data centers. And interestingly, I saw this in the news at the 3 Mile Island nuclear facility, which was the site of the worst nuclear accident in the US, if anyone's old enough to remember. I actually remember it just in the 70s, is being reopened to supply energy to Microsoft. And even France is looking to lead the way on AI because of their copious amounts of nuclear energy, and they're hoping to become a kind of an AI superpower by virtue of all this copious energy they have. Drawbacks to the individual researcher: keeping up to date with ever-changing applications and developments in AI, not knowing when AI may be wrong, not knowing how to use AI effectively to give me the competitive edge. So those are the 3 leading areas. Again, the issue of potentially disreputable vendors or not getting AI accepted in my organization. Seniors setting unexpectedly high expectations of my productivity or capability with AI, and potential job loss from AI. And actually the last point was just as much among seniors, mentioned by seniors as juniors. The key developments in terms of how the market research agency would develop going forward. Well, the first point is that 37% did not know. They just do not know how the AI is going to affect the market research agency. But there's roughly an equal proportion of upsides and downsides. So obviously, suppliers benefiting from increased efficiency and speed, more use of AI for innovation, a rush to adopt AI followed by a period of reflection, which Neil talked about, that sort of on that curve, emergence of leaner agencies and startups, and move to lower cost models. But a number of downsides, such as challenges on ethics and trust, more research done client side, their ability to insource more de-skilling of researchers, and possibly reduction of quality of insights through standardization and less depth and less analysis of outliers. Now, the potential outcomes could be summarized in 6 areas, we think. That is, firstly, AI will allow the market research agency to provide more advisory and consultancy-based research with a higher ratio of senior staff to juniors. So the AI would do quite a lot of the grunt work that maybe juniors would have otherwise done. Using AI, the research agency would use AI to become innovation hubs for consumer behavioral science. Expanding the services of the market research agency to include creative development and consultancy, blending traditional research with creative and strategic offerings. Developing AI applications with their core research specialities. So that would be agencies who specialize in advertising will develop AI specific to advertising research, product research, or shopper insights. And then the market research agency might be there to help the client in understanding the role of AI. For example, keeping and the application to research, such as keeping them updated on developments in the research space and supporting the client in terms of client compliance and corporate guidelines. And finally, which we're already seeing, tech-led businesses evolving to incorporate AI enhancements with provision of more self-serve AI tools. So those are the 6 main developments that we see in the industry. Just finally, thanks to Dynata over here, yes, for hosting the survey and doing the data processing, and thanks to BDRC, that's me, for doing the analysis. There is a fuller report with we did some in-depth research with both clients and suppliers. There is a fuller report available through Asia Research, so you can contact Asia Research for the full 50-slide report. But that gives you a fair overview of where we are and where we're going. So good luck with your endeavors with AI. Thank you.